Hey guys, I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you finished the sandwich projects successfully. So now I'm going to move on to the Beetle project and help you get started on that, at least through the first step. And then um, tomorrow I will hopefully have recorded the next step for you so you can take it from there. I'm going to try to do my best with my voice. I don't sound the greatest, but I'm going to try to push through. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to assume that you have already downloaded the files that you need for this. The car, the logo, and multiple backgrounds that you think you might want to use. But we're not going to be dealing with the logo or the backgrounds in this video, just the car part and just painting the car. So just like with the sandwich, when you did file open with the plate, we're going to do file open, and we're in Photoshop. So we're doing this inside Photoshop. You have to have your files already saved on your Wake County OneDrive in a folder, and that's where you're going for it. So I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to do file open, and then I'm going to select my Beetle. Okay, I'm doing this on my MacBook because my PC laptop is still at school, and so this is what I'm using. So it's going to look slightly different than what yours looks like, but it should overall look pretty close to the same. So I've got the car here. I want it to be bigger so I can see what I'm doing. So Control++ to make it full screen. You notice when I opened that, we got a layer already started here in our layers. Okay, so as you know from doing the sandwich project, we need to double click on that to unlock it, and I'm going to name it. Okay, I'm not sure why that stopped there, but anyway, what I did was I double clicked on the background here. I'm going to go backwards a second. Double click on the background, rename it car. I guess it doesn't like when I type a C in there. I don't know. Rename it car, and there we go. So now we have a car. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add a layer, and I'm going to click the plus sign to add a layer, and that's going to be the layer that I paint on. If I paint on the car layer, I choose a color here. That's not white. Let's say I chose red, and I just started painting on it. If I didn't like it and I went to erase it, I'd erase the whole car with it. And so I definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to name this layer paint. I named it paint. For whatever reason, whenever I type in something, it stops recording. So I got to figure out what's going on there. But hopefully you saw that. So we have our car layer and our paint layer. So our paint layer, I'm going to choose a color. I think I'd rather choose blue than red. Choose a blue. Choose something that's darker than what you ultimately want it to be, because we're going to be doing something to it that lightens it up. So now I'm going to paint. Now I'm going to paint on this. And you notice that it kind of looks fuzzy on the end. That's because I have a fuzzy brush selected, and I don't want that. I want a hard edge brush. So I want my hardness at 100%. Size, I can be anywhere in here. And now I can go back and kind of go over it. So what you are going to do is you are going to paint the entire car. But as you notice, I have this all at 100%. And as I'm painting over top of it, it completely takes out the detail of the car, and all I have is this blob of blue, which is not ideal. Okay, doesn't really look very realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my opacity over here in this side in the layers panel, and I'm going to take that down to anywhere between 35 and 45, and you notice it kind of lags a little bit behind there. I'm going to say 40. And then I'm going to go back to my paintbrush and to continue painting here. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to paint the entire car. You can change the size of the brush here as you get closer to the edges, so that you don't get on the windshield or anything. you can zoom way in, and I highly recommend that you do that. You zoom way in so that you can see what you're doing. And you can actually reduce the size of this brush so that it's only a couple of pixels. Okay, so if you want to get really tiny in here, and when you can zoom way in and make sure you get all the way in here without going on to the windshield or anything like that. If you do happen to get on the windshield, just go over to your eraser tool over here. Click that. You can change the size on that as well. Recommend doing that. And get in there and erase what you've done. So your goal is to do a perfect paint job on this car. You are going to do all of the, that's my dog shaking. You're going to do all of the car, not the lights, not the windshield, not the logo, not the grill, not the rims, okay? Not the other windows. You're going to do all along here. You're going to do the back of the mirrors. There's one mirror over here too. And do as well as you can possibly do on that. And so that's your goal for today. Obviously, you want to be very meticulous about this. That's why I'm giving you the whole class period to do it, because this will, if you don't do it meticulously, it's going to really show up when you do the next steps, when you start cutting it out. Be very careful when you get to the back here. Make sure you're rounding it off as best as you can. Granted, these are square pixels, so there's only so much you can do. Same with over here, and then the skinny line right along here. So do the best that you can, and make sure you're doing it as well as you can. And that's it. That's it for step one. And I'll do another video for you for tomorrow that takes you to the next step.